Hello guys, good day. This is Anna of Reinforce Make Love, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today I am going to talk about how do I avoid saying hurtful things I regret. Now this is based on personal experience. I do struggle with this, even up to this point, all my life. But at least now I am much aware of this. And every once in a while when this situations happens, like stress, frustrated, anger, especially anger or disappointment, since I am much aware this time, I know what to do better than before. I have hurt a lot of people in my life, and some of them have stayed. They stick around, which means that they're really my kind of people. These people are for me. They give me a chance, countless chance to improve myself, not to countless chance to really take advantage of the relationship, or countless chance to really make them feel stupid. But these people who stick around with me in spite of my imperfections, they are my people. I know deep in my heart that they are for me. Sometimes I could say that it's hard to be with me, but you know because of their love and support, I was able to I am able to improve myself over time, and I'm willing to improve myself for the rest of my life. And I'm always going to be a work in progress. Although I already have a plan how I'm going to handle myself every time I get angry, every time I get out of control. I know it wouldn't be a perfect response, because I'm when you are in a mixed emotion, like especially extreme emotion. But at least this time, I know how to channel those negative emotion. I know to how to handle it. I know how to tame it so well, better than before, because of the people who love me, who supported me. And even to those people who doesn't care about me and I hurt them, I also learn from them. So all in all, though, thank you very much. And today I am going to share to you what I've learned. How I manage not to say anything or do anything hurtful which I could regret in the end, as much as possible. Now, avoiding saying hurtful things that you will later regret requires self-awareness, emotional regulation, and conscious communication. Now, I'm going to share to you my personal step-by-step guide on how I was able to break this habit. At least it's not as bad as before. At least I know who I am now better than before. Maybe it's because of maturity or age, but look, I'm happy that I am getting better in handling myself, and I know myself well this time, better than before. And of course, in the most part, I love myself better than before, and I hope that you do feel the same. You also do something about this. Otherwise, if you keep saying hurtful things to other people, especially those people who love you so much, that could lead into strained relationships, and it's not good in the long run. It will lead to resentment or even breakups. Now, the first thing I do every time I say some hurtful things, you know, every time I do something, or some words have slipped out of my mouth, which supposed to be not, which I'm not intended to say, which means that I don't really mean to say that. Every time I hurt a person, when I finally calm down, sometimes it takes a couple of days to really help myself understand that, look, even if it's the other party's fault, it is still my responsibility. So in order to resolve the issue, the first thing I do is I apologize. It was hard for me to do this before. I apologize and learn. Sometimes I don't necessarily say I'm sorry, but I change my behavior instead. That is way better than any sorts of apology. Change of behavior is, one of the best solution rather than apology. So, but there are times when I could really utter an apology to a person, sincere apology, and I acknowledge the hurt that I cause. And it doesn't mean that I stated that way. I stated my reason why I did that, but in the most part, I tell them that, look, this is what I'm going to do next time, and this is what you're going to expect. Because, you know, at least when I hurt them the next time around, they're going to remind me about what I said. And I don't really want to hurt people. I want to be collaborative. It's just that, sometimes we could be out of control. And I wish I am perfect enough to not feel anything bad, to be happy all the time, but I'm not. I'm always going to be a work in progress. So as much as possible, I apologize, and in the most part, I change my behavior. The second thing that I do is I take responsibility. When I feel like I'm on the verge of losing control, as much as possible, I actually, I excuse myself from the conversation. I take a moment to cool down, which means that I stay away. I give myself a space when I get triggered. So I take responsibility when I feel like, I know the signs that I'm already triggered. I can feel the energy. Like, I just clench, by the time I get clenched, and, I can feel the tension on my neck. Look, I know what's going to happen. My thinking will be all over the place. So, but before that happens, as much as possible, when I already identify that I feel that way, I take a break. I give myself a space. It should be in a corner to really stop myself from losing control, from saying things I don't want to say that I would regret in the end. So I give myself some space in the most part. I take responsibility of that tension. Whether it's my fault or the other party's fault, I need to get some space. So that's the second thing I do. I take responsibility of my emotion. Extreme, aggressive emotion, I get some space. The third thing that I do, after I get myself some space, I try to recall those past incidents wherein I said something which I regret in the end. Those past were my lessons. Those people I hurt, those people I care about so much and I hurt them. I recall those moments wherein I don't really want to say those things. I don't want to hurt them. So that is why I take responsibility of my emotion, outburst of my emotion this time, because I don't want to happen. I don't want those past events to ever happen again. So I just recall those moments. And those were terrible moments, and I don't want to talk about it. I just, as much as possible, I want to avoid it. That's why every time I get myself some space, I recall those events. Number 4 is, look, since I already know the signs that I'm about to lose control with my emotion, I already recognize the triggers, which means recognize the triggers. So every time that I feel the tension, like there's an outburst of energy in me that I could feel that I could have the tendency to hurt people, those times were the stressful situations in my life. Even, it could be frustration. Like, you try to change things and it's still not happening. You try to plan it out, it's still not happening. And that is quite frustrating, and it's going to trigger your anger. So that's one trigger: frustration, anger, insecurity, stress, or some instances wherein you feel unheard. You feel like you've been neglected. So those are, negative moments for you. Negative, it gives you a negative vibe. So as to me, yes, I do recognize those moments. And then whenever I feel the tension in my body that I'm about to really give out to the person or people, I give myself some space. And then I recall again. I recall the past events that I did before, terrible happenings, wherein I said something that I don't mean to say. And the way I also say it to myself every time I get triggered and get some space, I say to myself, I am better than this. I am better than my emotion. I am better than my anger. I am better than my overthinking. I am in charge. It's gonna be okay. I also use the words of affirmation whenever I get triggered, I get angry. I also use that. And another thing, the fifth one, since this is this is applicable to those who have close relationships, best friends, couples, spouse. You could also create a strategic plan together. How you handle these extreme emotions like anger, frustration. You can even plan it out with your wife or husband to help you stay calm during these tense moments. So, like for example, you know that you've hurt your husband before because of the things that you've said, which you regret in the end, and you already said sorry. You don't want to do it again. You don't want to say it again. So it's it would make sense, or it could be way better to tell your husband or your boyfriend or your best friend, those significant others. Try to explain to them that in your own way that to some people like me, I need to take a short break or step away when I start to feel being frustrated. And like for example, to me, I try to explain to my partner or my boyfriend that I'm not ignoring him, and I'm not ignoring him, and this is another way for me to resolve the issue which happened in the past. I am trying to improve. That's why I I told him ahead of time that whenever I feel angry or frustrated, I need some space. It doesn't mean that I am ignoring you. I'm trying to get my act together into calmness before I talk to you when I get back. So, I, rather than saying something which I might, regret in the end, I tell my boyfriend like that I need some space, and I come back to you. We're going to discuss the issue later in a much calm or healthy manner. And yeah, he's quite aware about it because I want the relationship to work, not only to my significant others, not only to my boyfriend, but also to my best friends, my girlies, and to my old friends, my best friends. They know already. They know my attitude. We've been friends for more than 10 years, and yeah, they recognize it. They've already made me aware about it, and this time, yeah, I'm getting better. I'm a work in progress. Look, I'm not the worst. I'm just sharing this to you because I want to improve, and I hope you can also learn a lesson from this, that you're not alone. And another thing that I'm practicing right now after taking a break from the situation, giving myself a space and words of affirmation that I'm better than my anger, better than my frustration. Another thing that I want to add up this time that I'm still practicing, pausing before responding. So whenever I feel the urge to say something hurtful, I take a deep breath or count to, 10 to 1 in reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, or for yourself, you could do 1 to 10 before speaking. And, this short pause gives me time to think and regain control over my emotion, helping me avoid saying something impulsive or regrettable. So pause. Because when you breathe in, the oxygen can have a chance to go to your brain, and then it will keep you calm. You can stop yourself from saying hurtful words. Another thing, I practice. I'm trying to improve my communication, And I could say that it's better than before. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I was terrible before, but this time, look, I am giving out as much as possible in a friendly way, and especially to my partner. Though I try to communicate to him the my needs in a much nicer and respectful manner. And you can also do this. You might want to consider learning more about the nonviolent communication or assertive communication techniques. These methods can teach you how to express your feelings honestly without being hurtful and helping you navigate. Now, this nonviolent communication is a simple method for a clear, empathetic communication consisting of four steps. Number one is stating your observation. Number two is, expressing your feelings. And then number three, other than stating your feelings, you can also express your needs and then your requests. Now it goes like this. So this happened to me before, when I when when my with my partner before that every time he comes around, he goes into the house, he forgets to lock the door. So I feel unsafe when that happens. So I really did told him that the truth about how I feel whenever he does that. I told him, look, I whenever you come around here, sometimes you forget to lock the door, and I feel unsafe. I want to feel safe whenever you're around because I want to feel safe. I want to be secure in the house. So would you be able to lock the door the next time you come around? So that is observation, locking the door, feeling I feel unsafe, and needs, expressing my need means I want to, I feel, I want to feel safe. I want to lock the door whenever I'm here, just like everybody else. And stating my request, I told him that, would you mind locking the door, every time you come around here? But it doesn't happen often, though. It rarely happens. But I want to feel safe. So that's one request that he is now doing, and then I love it. He's he's doing his best, and I can see it. I'm happy about it. So that is nonviolent communication. Once again, you state your observations about the issue, and then you express your feelings, and then your needs, and then you can tell your requests. Now, this nonverbal communication aims to find a way for all present, you know, to get what really matters to them without the use of guilt, humiliation, shame, difficult conversations, to make to solve the things, to solve the issue, the problems between people among parties more effectively. Now, lastly, I haven't gone to this phase yet, and I have no plans. And I've said before, I'm not really that worse. You might want to consider seeking a professional help when you have anger issues. Or if you cannot channel your anger issues to other stuff like doing a project, being obsessed to marketing, product creation. So if you are a danger, a threat to people when you get angry, it's way better to seek professional help. If controlling hurtful words is a recurring issue, it may help you seek guidance from therapist or a counselor. They can assist you with underlying emotional triggers and provide strategies to help you manage your emotions and communications. Now, I have decided to really share this to you because for me, this is important in all sorts of relationship as well as self-improvement. And I hope this makes sense to everybody that you're not alone. You're not the only one who struggles to this. Me too. Now, avoiding hurtful words takes effort and practice. And we're all going to be a work in progress all our lives. Most importantly, the thing is that we have to do something about this. We make an effort to improve ourselves, to express ourselves in a much healthy manner. But this and this is possible though, especially with self awareness and an effort to to control our emotion, self regulation. And this can happen by identifying our triggers, taking pauses, words of affirmation, taking responsibility of our emotions, and developing a better communication habits. You can prevent regret and strengthening your relationships. Everybody wants to be happy, but it's not going to be happy all the time. It's not going to be rainbows and blue skies. Those stress, anger, disappointments, feeling unheard, those moments are also helpful for us because it tests us to improve ourselves. And this is one way for us to improve, to make an effort to really do something about it. And I hope you learned something from the episode today. And if you ever love this content, you can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even in Amazon Podcasts. Reinforce me, Club. I do appreciate your time and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.